We got some more silly changes for NASCAR next year, but the biggest one revolves around 2311. Did they or did they not make the right move? Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Jet. Welcome back to an episode of Inside Lines. Hope you're having a wonderful day. If you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content to the channel. I'm going to keep posting videos even during the off season. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on any of today's topics. We're going to first start off with Front Row Motorsports. Now, they've been having a lot of off-season moves happening, not only on the racetrack with its drivers, but off the racetrack and the lawsuit. But with the departure of Michael McDowell heading to Spire Motorsports in 2025, that left Todd Gilliland as the main guy for Front Row. Well, it looks like that he will also be getting the lead car. As for 2025, Front Row announced that they would be moving Todd Gilliland from the 38 to the number 34 Love's Travel Stops Ford Mustang Dark Horse car. Now, this is kind of funny because this throws back to his father, David Gilliland, who drove the number 38 Love's Travel Stops Ford from 2013 till 2015. So it was kind of things about coming full circle for the Gilliland family. You know, the father drove the Love's car, and now Todd is driving the Love's car for 2025. This is, in my eyes, I think it's a good decision because Todd, I think he has improved greatly in this 38 car the past couple seasons. I mean, there was a point in time where he was going to get kicked out of the ride, I thought, with Zane Smith coming in, but now he has definitely stepped up to the plate, and now him getting the lead car at Front Row is going to for sure put a lot of momentum on his side, because now this is kind of like that little push that to show that Front Row is fully behind Todd Gilliland, and I hope he performs very well for 2025. Now, this more than likely means that Noah Gragson will be occupying the 38 ride. As for this whole third charter situation that's been going on, because we do know that Front Row and 2311 from the lawsuit details each wanted to acquire a third charter from their own company, from Stewart Haas Racing, I believe. So how will that work? Will they open up to a third open car? If that's the case, more than likely, we've been hearing rumors that Zane Smith would take over that ride, but it'll be very interesting to see how Front Row travels or navigates through this lawsuit for the 2025 season, with them being open team or not. Still don't know how that whole situation is going on, but for a driver like Todd Gilliland to finally get the nod to get the lead car at Front Row is going to put a lot of momentum on his side. Hopefully he goes out there and performs in 2025. Meanwhile, over at Legacy Motor Club, continue to get more mid. Legacy Motor Club, in my eyes, is the biggest, worst team in NASCAR. I mean, they've got the right people, you would think. I mean, Eric Jones is a Proven Cup winner, Jimmy Johnson, part owner. I mean, they got the money, they got the backing, they got big time sponsors, Mobile One. I think they just got a new sponsor, I think in Newmar, I think it's called, like an luxury RV. I mean, they're getting sponsors, they got the people, they got the money, but boy, can they not produce results. And hiring a guy like Travis Mack that they announced yesterday, I don't think it's going to do much. Now, first with Chad Johnson being the manager of their race engineering, mid gets more mid. Travis Mack was fired from Colleague Racing last month, and he has now been hired by Legacy Motor Club to become the crew chief for John Hunter Nemechek in 2025. This kind of also confirms that maybe Nemechek will return to the 42 ride next year, because there are also rumors going around that maybe Nemechek will be out of the ride by year's end, but looks like that's not the case. Travis Mack does have one win as a crew chief, driving for with Daniel Suarez back in 2022 at Sonoma. He was actually Suarez's crew chief from 2021 to 2023. So yeah, again, I'm not expecting much from Legacy, especially when you look at the people that they have hired in recent weeks. It's like they just continue to hire people that have been let go, or people that have just been meh through the entirety of their Cup career. So again, I'm not expecting much from Legacy. I hope that they're able to get out of this slump, but especially more because of Eric Jones, because his talent is being wasted at the moment. But man, I don't see the people that they've hired, how it's going to dramatically change the corporation or the company for 2025. I feel like this is just going to continue the same struggle that they've had the past couple seasons, just getting worse and worse and worse. And again, continuing to be the worst big team in NASCAR. Unlike another team, JTG Daugherty Racing, they won at Talladega this year, won the Daytona 500 a year prior. However, with the loss of their major sponsor Kroger heading over to RFK Racing in 2025, it seems as though that the team is getting more than just an adjustment with sponsorship. On Reddit, I first saw this on Reddit, where if you look outside JTG Daugherty's racing shop, their sign, notice that JTG is no longer there. It's a completely new sign, new logo, new name. Hayek Motorsports. Now, what's interesting about this is that the owners, Todd and Jody Gestechter, I think is how you pronounce their name. Sorry if I mispronounced that. They are working at a law firm that works with Kroger. So I don't know if that means that they're just fully investing in their roles with that, Kroger sponsorship at RFK Racing. I don't know exactly the details as of yet, but it is interesting how they work with Kroger, yet Kroger left JTG, their own race team, to go to RFK Racing. And I think the reason why is that maybe Tad and Jody are getting out of the racing business in terms of owning a race team, because it looks as though that their third owner, because think about it, JTG has 4 owners. Tad, Jody, a guy named Gordon Smith, who invested into the team back in 2016 for an ownership stake, and Brad Daugherty, of course we know him. That's 4 owners. But that third one, Gordon Smith, it seems as though that he's taking full on the operational role at that race team. Although it is unclear on whether Brad Daugherty will still remain with the team as having a small ownership stake in some way, but Gordon Smith, it seems as though from this report, that will be taking majority ownership of the race team. And just want to say, nope, not going to say it. I've been seeing the comments on social media about Hayek sounding a lot similar to another word. I'm not saying that. We're going to move on. But the word Hayek is a reference to Gordon Smith's company, Hayek Maritime, which is a vessel and tugboat company that helps transport goods and services across America, that they are located up in Washington, in the northwest of the United States. So, never heard of that company. But how will this affect the team? Well, according to Bob Parkhurst, he went there, I think, back in May, and there was no indication that things were, really going to change for the most part. They're still going to keep, chugging along, competing in NASCAR. It looks as though it'll be under new ownership, kind of, with Gordon Smith now taking majority control over the operation. Now, with Gordon Smith's own company, Hayek Maritime, does that mean that Hayek will become the sponsor for the 47? We don't know as of yet. For sure, that 47 team they're going to have to find big help, because Kroger was basically their main guy. I mean, if you look at Kroger and their relationship with JTG, it goes back almost a decade, maybe to 2014, 2015. Now with them leaving, really only thing that I guess Hayek Motorsports we can call now, the only thing they got is NOS Energy. That's what Ricky Stenhouse brings to the table. Outside of that, they're going to need a lot of help from a lot of companies in order to keep this ship going for 2025 and onwards. And finally, our main story, 2311 Racing. Now, they have been in the news, not only for the lawsuit, but also with this third charter. Now, we know from the lawsuit, like with Front Row Motorsports, that they were trying to get a third charter. And we've been hearing from reports, Bob Parker, Jordan Bianchi, everybody, Jeff Gluck, that have been saying that 2311 Racing is looking at putting Riley Herbst in that third car. And today it has been confirmed Riley Herbst will be driving for 2311 Racing in 2025 in the 35 car, not the 67. The reason why the 35 is because it's a reference to Michael Jordan when he played in the mid-90s and what was the Arizona Fall League for the Scottsdale Scorpions when Michael Jordan first retired from basketball, I think in 1995, around that era. So that is what it's referencing towards. Okay, I put it out a tweet by saying that while I think Herbst has improved, I don't think he's Cup ready. He's been in the Xfinity Series for 5 years, from 2020 till 2024. And it really took until the last 4 or 5 races of the 2023 season for him to show some form of improvement. Obviously, that win in Vegas and consecutive top 5 finishes to close out the 2023 campaign. 2024, this year, was his best. It was the first time ever he had gotten out of the round of 12. Like, he was able to advance into the round of 8, finishing 7th in points and 2 wins. I mean, he drove great at Indianapolis. That was an incredible drive by him in the closing laps to beat out Eric Almirola, and dominated at Phoenix to win the season-ending race there for the championship race. So he has improved. Don't get me wrong, improved greatly. But I don't think he still is Cup ready. And I made a comparison, from him to Nicholas Latifi. Which the reason why I made that comparison, if you look back at Nicholas Latifi's career, he spent 3 seasons in Formula 2, for example. Season 1 and Season 2, the first 2 times where he was beaten easily by his teammates there. He had bright spots, but still was so far lacking behind his teammate, and overall just was meh. It took until his 3rd season at Formula 2 for him to finally show something, and he finished 2nd in the points. He then goes to Formula One, and even though he went to Williams, which at that time Williams was absolutely garbage, he was still miles behind his teammate George Russell. So when I look at Herbst, I compare him to Latifi's, because when you look at Herbst's teammates and Herbst's time in the Xfinity Series, he spent 5 years there. Every single time he got beaten easily by his teammates. You know, when he was at Joe Gibbs Racing, got beat by Brandon Jones. Then at Stewart-Haas Racing, when Cole Custer came back, was easily beaten by Cole. 2023 and 2024. 2023, he didn't even make the playoffs. So yes, Herbst has improved. And I know some people brought up his Cup stats, a 10th in the Daytona 500, I think 2 years ago, and the 9th at Talladega last year. I would argue, though, those are super superior races. I'm not going to count that as much. But I will end this off by saying this. I hope he proves me wrong. I genuinely hope he proves me wrong. I'm not saying I'm wishing that Herbst will run bad. Absolutely not. If he proves me wrong, I have no issue with standing here in 1 year's time and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Herbst deserves to be in that ride. But based on what I've been seeing, to me, this is 80% pay driver. This is 80% because of the money he brings in, 20% because of what he does behind the wheel. With his family's company, Terrible Herbst, being like a private gas station organization, so he brings in a lot of money. On top of that, Monster Energy, you know, they already, Monster Energy themselves already have a really good relationship with 2311 Racing with Kurt Busch and Tyler Reddick there. So it makes sense from a business perspective, from a money perspective, especially when you consider the fact that 2311 is more than likely going to be an open team, and they probably built this third team, probably hired new people to create this third car team months before. They probably had Riley Herbst already in their mindset when creating this third car team. So now knowing that more likely they're going to enter into the 2025 season as an open team, they need more money now than ever. They cannot just rely on the fact that, oh, we're a charter team, sponsors are going to come. No. Now that we're an open team, we have to basically go to pay drivers, you know, and again, that's been a thing always with NASCAR, but with 2311 Racing specifically, it's like we need to go to pay drivers. So we're having a third car. We already have the team to prepare for a third car. We need someone that has a lot of money that can help fill that gap. So again, it makes sense from a business perspective, from money wise, to have Riley Herbst be the driver of that team. I hope he does well. But again, when you look at the history, you know, when you look at Ty Gibbs, even in his rookie season, wins the Xfinity Series Championship, made sense for him to go to Cup. Even if some maybe viewed it as a bit early, made sense for him to go to Cup. Cole Custer, when he came back to the Xfinity Series and won the championship, you're like, okay, it makes sense for him to go to Cup. Noah Gragson winning all those races with Ty Gibbs in 2022 makes sense for him to go to Cup. Now, there are certain drivers where it's like you see how they do in their Xfinity career and you're like, you know what? I get that. Like, it makes sense. In my eyes, at least with Riley Herbst, I don't see that. I still think of as a driver that, okay, he's had some good runs, but he hasn't been, in my eyes, the guy that has shown anything that made you think, okay, he's ready for Cup. He needs to be in the Cup Series right now. I don't see that, but I hope I'm proven wrong.
You can't tell me now about time. Do you know how many lines I done put down, vibes I done sent out? But we ain't here to dig. I love the market till they come red carpet and kids. Success still the target. Soon I'll be crossing that bridge, but can't bring everybody with me. Family only. I got some people think I owe a favor, barely know me. That's why my focus on the road. It's all I know. I see them sticking close to play the wall.